What does?
Starting the stream, the record, not the stream.
Yeah.
Well, I had a fucking fun weekend. We did the Quinby family suburbs weekend this weekend, and we went and fucking partied.
Hang on one second.
Burbs.
What does that mean? And you're gonna go straight into a story? I mean, listen, I know a lot of people listen to this on the Patreon, watch it on the Patreon or whatever, or on a VOD, but you're gonna go into a heavy duty story before?
No, it's not a heavy duty story. I didn't do anything heavy duty. I mean, I did fucking just. If you had seen me playing mini golf with my family,
Mr. No Swimsuit subscribing tier 1, Brooklyn Skull subscribing tier 1. What happened when were you being annoying to everyone else?
I tried not to, and I don't think I was, but when they told me I came in under par, I didn't shut the fuck up all the way home about it. But then we went to this place called the Peach Cobbler Factory.
But it's just mini golf. It's not
well, that's the hardest golf.
I think mini golf is pretty easy to come in under par. If I recall the times I played, okay. I don't think it's that. It's not the hardest golf, definitely. I mean, playing on a full size course is. Go out if you're like, oh, it can't be that hard. And you've never played golf before. Just go out and play around on a full size course sometime, and you see it's very hard.
I worked at a golf course, Chris.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember Cable Guy. I mean, we heard a ridiculous
call center. That's a call center story, and that is
the call center story on
a while from now.
That is not going to come out until that is the cruise ship guys episode. Let me tell you, I don't know if he's mentioned this before, but certainly we have not talked about it in great detail. It's it's maybe the craziest Bryan early young.
It's not that crazy.
It is so fucking crazy.
There's a lot of stuff in that episode that I think it's a cautionary tale for when people take their children to Chuck E. Cheese. And, also then there's the other.
I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot about that part.
I forgot about the part where you're supposed to protect kids from getting kidnapped at Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. I'm sorry that we do this, everyone. Now you have to wait weeks before we talk about all of this. Shredded Nar subscribing tier 1 7 months.
New card smell. I worked at a golf course for a year. It wasn't.
But you were not doing something. You weren't wearing golf kind of clothes.
No, as a dishwasher.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You were in some part of but you weren't out on the course.
I did have to go out on a course and put the water bottles on the course, the big water coolers. I was responsible for those. And unfortunately, if you play golf at the Willows Golf Course in Groveport, Ohio, that water didn't get changed often because why not? Why would I?
Is this your job?
Well, yeah, but then I would just go drive around on the cart and smoke cigarettes all morning without even doing the part. Then we all got in trouble for getting high at work, and then that turned the job kind of into a bummer.
Hey, hang on one second. I did a stand-up show on Friday. It said Dolph Jongert. Very exciting. Would love to hear about it. Hey, I washed dishes. New Card Smell says I washed dishes today at Cracker Barrel on a Sunday, not Chris stealing Restaurant Valor. I mean,
that's painful. That is hard. Cracker Barrel Sunday. So I'll tell this. I was working at Chuck E. Cheese and I was like, this fucking place sucks. And it was mainly because I didn't like wearing the uniform because it was all rainbow colored. I mean, imagine me, in this rainbow, because I was game room for a period and I was in this rainbow striped shirt and I hated it. And honestly, back then too, is my homophobia was also a problem at that time.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Did it have to do with that? Because nowadays, of course, that wouldn't be the case. Fidel Clanco subscribing tier 1 16 months. Jorbo 69 subscribing tier 1. I do appreciate Bryan speaking you don't get a lot of people who are like, yeah, I was homophobic before.
I mean, I was in Groveport, Ohio in the late 90s. So.
But it is, it's you evolved. Your views evolved.
Oh, yeah.
That is good. But yeah, back then you didn't want to be caught dead in some rainbow shit. You would have why don't you say some of the stuff you would have said about it at the time?
No, I'm not going to say any of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've told the story about when I was in high school, this is a time I'm not saying this is the only time I ever said the F slur, but this is one time where I didn't. I'm not going to say it out loud on the thing, But
don't. We'll get in trouble.
Yeah. In 9th grade, I had a hairdo. 10th grade, 9th and 10th grade, I had a hairdo where it was like, it was faded right here, and then there was hair on top, and then bangs going down over the eyes. You know what I mean? You know what that look is?
Oh, I wish there was a photo. Is there a photo of that?
I don't know. My parents have to have a photo of that, but I've never seen. I haven't seen one in years.
That is wild. By the way, we've got a couple of subscriptions, like Daria but Gayer, subscribing with Prime 2 months on a 2-month streak. I think last time I said like diarrhea but Gayer. I think I said, but it's Daria. New Card Smell, subscribing tier 1, 9 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back.
First of all, Bryan was faded. Yeah, I had a fade, and then like I said, the things go down, the braid, and then I would get them braided. This girl would braid them, and they would just kind of be down like this, or I would brush them straight and then hairspray them so there were like straight lines or whatever. So I have that hairdo for
what were you going for?
That hairdo. Exactly what I'm fucking telling you. The hairdo with the bangs.
But people thought it looked.
That's how we talk. That's what we did.
It's weird. It's if you still, is it safe to say if you still had a full head of hair, would you maybe rock that for your magic?
No, unfortunately, if I had a full hair, you're lucky I went bald. Is all I'm saying. Because if I had hair, I'd have. I
say that to myself every day. I thank my lucky stars every day that your ass went bald.
I'd be a white guy with dreadlocks if I didn't. 100%. There's just no way I wouldn't have dreadlocks if
what?
I would have dreadlocks. I always wanted them, and luckily I never. Blonde dreadlocks would be sick. Bryan the Wook. Yeah, but I never had enough hair to do it, so I never
really
did it.
Fucked up to think, because we wouldn't be here right now if that was the case. No, definitely not. I wouldn't do a fucking podcast with a guy with fucking dreadlocks, a white guy with dreadlocks. Not a chance.
So anyway, like I'm at this girl's house, and I have this buddy Zane that cuts my hair. You know what I mean? And he cuts everybody in the neighborhood's hair. He's the hair guy. He cuts hair.
Yeah.
And he's not even a barber now. He works for the electric company. But like at the time, we were just like, hey, he does a pretty good job. He cuts the hair. But he wasn't around. And I was at this girl's house. I was like, my hair's getting a little unruly.
Like he wasn't around, like just at that moment you needed a haircut?
Yeah. I don't know what was going on.
Couldn't wait until like tomorrow?
Had to do with drugs. I had to be on some kind of weird situation. You know what I mean?
Subscribing with Prime 12 months. That's 1 year. And Jamieable subscribing with Prime 2 months. Welcome back. Thank you for subscribing. So you needed a haircut that very moment, and the sort of neighborhood haircut guy who's not officially a hairdresser, but what does it mean to officially be a hairdresser?
Yeah, he doesn't have a license. He doesn't have a barber's license.
I don't know if they're but do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm not trying to in any way minimize what it is to be a hairdresser at all.
He cut all of our hair. And it was all just the same haircut though. Like I said, it was just a fade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, we're at this house, and I'm like, somebody's got to cut my hair. And this girl, Andrea's like, I think I can do it. I've watched Zane do it. I'll just go ahead and cut your hair. She goes to cut my hair. I'm like, let's trim up them bangs a little bit. Let's get them like a nice straight. And she accidentally shaves them off. And I ran into the bathroom, and I slammed the door, and I started crying. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, you made me look like some kind of an army F slur. And that's the only time I really tell you that apparently I thought being in the army was gay at the time.
Yeah, whatever. When you're that age, there's no real telling what could be gay at any given moment. You know, when you're like a teenage kid at that time in history, it's like for whatever reason stuff could just be gay, you know?
I was so fucking mad, dude. I was yelling, but then like after a while I looked at it, I was like, damn, you're looking good. Like that picture that you see of me where I look all scraggly but I have like the hair shaved tight and stuff, that was my best look, I think. Like real skinny and wiry and smoking cigarettes all the time.
This is not your best look. Like I gotta tell you, I'm sorry to say, but your best look is a current day.
No, don't say.
It's the best one I've seen. I've seen a lot of photos of you at different times, and this one is like, it's not even close. Like, you look good now. You're right now, you're like in good shape, and you just like have this like kind of glow of like, man, I mean, some of those photos when you're a skinny guy were really scary. They're scary. They're actually really, really scary to look at for me. I laugh when I see them, but I'm scared when I look at them as well. A 24K gold Beta Jadaki statue, gifting a tier 1 sub to Cockatoo Quill.
So now I told Chris I have something. I didn't want to tell him what it was. Oh yeah, I had a suburbs weekend is what I'm saying. I went out, I played golf, mini golf in the suburbs. Then we went to the Peach Cobbler Factory, which is a place in the suburbs, which I had a peach cobbler milkshake. Really good. Loved it. And then last night we went to
everything they got there is peach cobbler.
Pretty much, but some
of it. Candle, you got a candle, but it smells like peach cobbler.
No. It's not all peach cobbler. They have blackberry cobbler.
But it's like peach cobbler. What kind of a place is this?
It's all cobblers. It's just a bunch of cobblers and what is
a peach cobbler?
Oh, Jesus Christ. How am I supposed to explain that to you? It's peach with cobbler.
But I thought that's like a pie or something.
It is.
So then what do you mean it's a factory that makes the pie?
That's what they call it. It's a restaurant called the Peach Cobbler Factory. It's not even a restaurant. It's just a snack dessert place. It's good.
Okay, so that's why I was confused, because you're saying the Peach Cobbler Factory. I get it's like the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, but smaller, But yeah, it was so good. It was
Catfish
so
victims mad at me like fucking says fucking Canada. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know about the fucking Peach Cobbler Factory.
So yesterday we were like, let's fucking do something. Let's go to the Franklin County Fair, which is a very small fair that we've never been to, but there's a demolition derby there.
Very cool.
So we were like, let's fucking go there and watch the cars bang into each other. So we got there about 3 hours before the demolition derby. We paid $34 to get in, not each, just all together.
Oh, that's very cheap for three.
Yeah, but we got there.
Very inexpensive. Safe to say.
We stayed there for 15 minutes.
Is that how you look at it, though? It was very inexpensive.
No, because I left 50. I think
I can tell by the way you're talking about it. You think that you spent a lot there. That's not a lot. That's $11 a person to get into a thing. That's a very reasonable.
Honestly, it's malpractice. They should let you come in and see what's doing in there for 15 minutes, then come out and decide if you're going to pay.
It would,
what I mean?
It would be 34 per person, but up where I live.
Yeah, it was $10 a person where I am, but plus tax. And I just was pissed. I was like, "What? Let's go." All there are is a bunch of sad-looking animals, and there's a magic show, but the magic show wasn't for 2 hours. And there's a demolition derby, not for 2 hours. So we went and saw Twisters. That was the big. But we went to the other suburb to see Twisters, which I liked. Anybody want to know? I like Twisters. So
I don't think I'll watch Twisters, but I might.
Listen to you. What Chris am I talking to?
Can I be honest with you? I just kind of am not. I'm not really big on that guy,
Glenn Powell.
Yeah, I'm not really big.
I'm his booster. The whole way home last night, Dave was making fun of me because I was like, "That guy's a movie star."
Now, I mean, I think you're right, but I like. Yeah, thank you. Dolphin Golfin. That's what I feel like. He's been forced on to me.
No,
he's like, hey, look at this is the guy, and I'm like, I don't know that he is. I'm not sure. He's kind of the Hitman is good. He's great.
Yeah, he was good in the Hitman.
I love the Hitman. The Hitman was bizarre and strange to me. I had no idea what to expect going in. I saw that in the theaters like opening weekend when it was first available here, and I was really pleasantly surprised by it. It was weird.
He's great.
But I loved him in it. But I just don't need so much of him. You know what I mean?
I need more. I need as much Glenn Powell as I can get. So yeah, I really like the movie a lot. We saw it on IMAX. I did not make my family sit in the front row. I made them sit in the third row. So we were 3 rows back instead
That's
of the
too
very
close,
front row.
isn't it? Like, don't you find you're having
we
to
watch third row. I would rather be in the first row, but I'm compromising.
But like,
So
are your theaters different than the theaters I'm imagining? Because the front row is like no one. Literally, there's no one ever there.
That's why it's good. That's another reason why it's really good, because there's nobody else there.
Third row could be okay depending on the theater, but like in the big ones, like IMAX maybe, because IMAX is pulled a little bit back. At least
a little bit.
The river,
all of them. I like the front row. I'm a front row middle guy. You know, let's get in this movie.
I don't go in the middle. I don't go in the middle usually because I just like to have a row. I like to be in and out quick. So I like to be kind of halfway up and then in the center on the aisle. You know, that's kind of my go-to.
Yeah.